Hello, friends. I'm Candace, and this is Fitness and Harmony, movement improvement, core work. So we're going to get to the hard work of working the core. Remember, this is the Manipura chakra. Persistent work, and in yoga, that's called abhyasa. Persistent work is that you come back again and again. And I don't care whether you're able to do the whole 45 minutes or you're only able to do a few minutes. If you have to come and go, consistently come back. I tell my clients 10 minutes is all you need per day. If you can do more, the more benefit you'll get. So remember, all movement exercise helps move, not just the muscles. Muscles is what somebody like me will talk about most often, but the internal organs. If you've ever been immobilized, where you're not able to get up and down, you'll know that your digestive system really suffers. There's really a challenge there. So let's start with movement. Remember, if you can do all of these moves, do them. If you can't, you can't. So find a seat, inhale and stretch up. Exhale and reach up and over. Inhale, stretch up. Now, as you exhale up and over, remember that there's up and then there's over. So there's inhale, stretch up. That means go up. There's exhale, up and over. I want to point that out because what we're doing is we're training the nervous system up and over. We're training the nervous system to learn how to coordinate the muscles up and over. And now what I'd like to do is make sure that your breath is getting deep and expansive each and every time. So you may have to slow down. You don't have to go along with the tempo I've set here. In Pilates, more than even yoga, we're working more and more on concentration and control. In yoga, we're getting something from all of the things that we're doing, and we're just making sure that the mind is paying attention, whether there's something there to notice or not. But in Pilates, we are purposely concentrating on minding the movement. Come up, and this time extend up and back. Come back forward again. Inhale up, exhale back. Come forward again. Try that again. Inhale, stretch up, exhale back. I'll hold this. What I want you to notice is that the bend in your spine is about at the bottom of your shoulder blades, not the head, the neck, or not even the shoulders or the arms. It's right there, kind of at the base of the chest. Then inhale up and then exhale to a forward fold. So once your hands do connect with the earth, shift the body left and right, kind of like your ribs are sliding, sliding, sliding. Come back to center and then just forward fold and hang. Let's practice breathing together. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. So we're breathing a little bit faster than maybe we do in a guided meditative practice, like just plain yoga. After this next exhale, brace the core muscles. Now roll up slowly. See if you can find the little spaces in between each of the vertebrae. So let's kind of do that again. And what I mean by do that again is I'm going to take the blanket out. I'm going to sit with my feet kind of flat on the floor. I usually turn to the side, so I'm still on my mat. But notice that your spine has 33 vertebrae. That's a lot of vertebrae to control and concentrate on. But it's the spaces between them. They're not only filled with intervertebral discs, which they're like jelly-filled disc shock absorbers, but muscles that connect them. So inhale and stretch the arms up. Exhale and round the back. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, round. Do that two more times. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, round. You got it. Inhale, stretch up. This time, round and hold. Okay, so hold this. I want you to memorize this pattern. Your abs are what's holding you up right now, right? There's no seat behind you. You're not in a recliner. You're not in a lounge chair. Your abs are doing the holding. So now just kind of crunch. Like you're like, imagine you have like a bar or something in your hands that you're pulling down, and you need a lot of strength to pull down. So scrunch, crunch, crunch. You may have to take a couple of breaths, or you may be going, that's okay too. As long as you don't do a lot of those, your breath isn't really in sync necessarily with movement or even the movement of your circulation. 3, 2, 1. Come all the way up, stretch the legs out in front, maybe widen your legs, maybe take a couple steps back with your hips. Inhale, reach up, exhale, extend back. Remember that? Inhale up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale there. Exhale, now peel the spine, rolling one vertebrae at a time all the way back up. Let's do that again. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, extend back. Remember, that's the base of the shoulder blades. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold, scooping the belly in and up the front of the spine. Inhale at the bottom, and then exhale, roll one vertebrae at a time. And remember, we're training the muscles, connecting the mind to those small muscles. Inhale up one more time. Exhale, back. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale and roll up. So when I say we're going to do that again, the principle here is moving, articulating, and imprinting one vertebrae at a time. So now I'm going to move a little bit closer to the end of my mat so that I have space behind me. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, roll back. Inhale when you stop. When you stop exhaling, stop. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, roll back. So I'm not going to tell you how far to go back. You stop when you're done exhaling. Inhale up. Exhale back. So I want you to imagine you're like a tube of toothpaste and something is like squeezing the center of your tube. And it's your exhale that's squeezing the center of your tube. So you might be going super fast. Maybe you're that kind of person. And you go all the way down and all the way up. Or you're just doing a little micro movement. It doesn't matter. Whether you're moving 3 vertebrae, 10 vertebrae, you can only move about 20 of them total. So a lot of them are almost fused. Doesn't matter how many, as long as you're controlling and minding the movement. Inhale, exhale. So notice and feel and correct the movement as you're doing it. Exhale. 2 more times. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep the chest open and broad. Keep the movement being improved by your mind. Good. So now come up. If you have a ball, put it behind your sacrum there. So give it a little backspin so it doesn't go shooting out when you're not looking. If you don't have a ball, you can try a small pillow behind there, or just do what we just did again, all over again. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, roll back. Now you're not changing anything here. Inhale, roll up. So just because there's a ball or something there, you're not extending back over that ball. You're not doing that. What you're using is your low back and the top of rim of your sacrum there to push into the ball. So if you have a ball or a blanket there, your goal here is to push into the ball and make it pop. Exhale, push into the ball hard. Inhale. Exhale, push into the ball hard. Inhale. So I said before, if that ball does pop, you're not going to get hurt, and I think you will. You'll be surprised, but you're not going to get hurt. Use your exhale to brace. So even now, slow down. If you have to take a couple breaths, do that. Above all, breathe. Above all, use your ribs, your diaphragm, your lungs, and your heart to circulate energy, to circulate oxygen, and maybe more importantly, to detox the things you've been holding on to. So we're in a transition in the world right now. We're in a transition to different temperatures and different way of living. We're kind of coming indoors. We have to get rid of something. I had to move this thing out of the way so I could do my Pilates. 3. So kind of expectorate, get rid of anything that's kind of getting in your way, any of those obstacles, clear your path. Now hold halfway, bring the hands together and push the hands together. And then lift one knee, then the other. So now we are entering into the control part of the program. We have been working on concentration, imprinting, articulating. Now we're controlling. Make sure those hands are pushing into each other. Remember what I said in the very beginning, whether you're doing one of these with me, maybe you've, turned this off. I'm not sure how you know I'm still doing it, but you're not doing any of it. And you're just doing the inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now slow your movement down. I want you to trace, like, you trace with a pencil over something. Trace the movement in your mind of loading, lifting, shifting, holding, and yes, even something is relaxing. I don't know what it is. It might be your eyelashes at this point. 3, I'm sort of getting in lower and lower and lower here. And 2, and 1. So roll your way all the way up. Ay, ay, ay. That was something, wasn't it? Take the ball between the knees, lean a little bit back. I'm going to walk a little bit back so you can see what I'm doing. Bring the feet under the knees. We're going to try just squeeze, release. So maybe you have a ball, maybe you have a blanket. Squeeze, release. Exhale, squeeze the abdominal. So I said today I wanted to do like movement improvement. I wanted to do like really intense core work. So you are really having to make a choice. It's like I've given you a buffet of movement potentials and possibilities. And so you just choose, you pick and choose. I like this. I'll not have any of that, please. If anything is bothering you, so the abs have to control and support the low back. If it's not doing that, that means you're tired. And if you're tired, nothing else matters anyway. You're not going to make any improvements when you're tired. Squeeze the ball and hold, press the fingers down. Now, typically your fingers and arms should be spun forward, but that's okay if you want to spin your arms outward. Some people even feel better with the hands a little bit backward, but typically this is taught with the fingers and the arms spun forward. Press down through the fingers, the palms of the hands, brace the abdominals, flatten the spine. Press down through the feet, inhale. As you exhale, if you can, lift your hips up. Inhale when you get there again, and then exhale back down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, lift up. Hold and inhale. Exhale, come down. Again. So you exhale to move. You inhale to prepare. You exhale to move. Hey, you're doing great. Hey, stay with this. This is really good work on the arms, that flab on the back of the arms. Now we can make muscles bigger, but can we do anything about that flab? The skin and fat is what that is. 2 more times. The answer is kind of yes. Not nearly the biggest kind of change you want to make. Come down and hold. If you can, walk down onto your elbows now behind you, but still uplift the low back, embrace the core. If you have the ball, squeeze it, and then draw the knees in and tap the feet down, in and down. Most important here, spine stays long. So you want to know how you can affect that fat and skin that's hanging there. Move it. Move it. Move it is the best solution. When you move, what happens is all the supporting structures, in this case fascia, there's like little cells, meaning little like honeycomb pattern, that I mean it in that way, of fascia that hold even fat cells together. They hold fat in. Otherwise, fat would just go squirting all over the place because it has no structure itself. So those structures, the fascia, just remember the word fascia, gets tighter and holds it in a little bit better. 3 more times. 3, 2. What are you doing with your abs? And 1. Hold there. I want you to roll sort of onto your side almost, I don't know, 45 degrees, not all the way on the side of the hip, not all the way on the back of the tail, and hold there. Now just squeeze the ball, release. Squeeze the ball, release. Squeeze, release. Squeeze. I told you I was going to challenge you today. I was going to make you do some things we're not used to doing. When we add the props, a lot of times it makes things less stable. It makes it harder. So give yourself the opportunity to say, no props for me today, thank you. I'll just take my Pilates plain. 3, 2, And one. Let's go over to the other side. You got it. So you're rolling almost onto your side. You're actually on one elbow, but don't sink into that elbow. Balance the weight of the upper and lower body. Here we go. Squeeze the ball, release. Squeeze the ball, release. So I really wanted to challenge you today. I wanted you to learn how to connect the mind to the movement. So that's why we'll do something and then we'll even slow it down if it's something that we can maintain. Exhale, brace the core. Deep diaphragmatic breathing teaches, maybe more important than teaching inner thighs to contract. 2 and 1. All right, come around into child's pose. Child's pose should feel really good right now. Slow down the breath. This is why in yoga we spend so much time learning to breathe. If you don't learn how to do a Pilates roll up, you'll probably be okay in life. You'll probably still be a pretty healthy, happy person. But if you don't learn to breathe, nothing else will work right. Every organ, every system, every chemical reaction in your body depends on the breath. That's a big weight. So learn to breathe. Fill the ribs, fill the lungs, pump the heart. The heart is doing the pumping. Empty the ribs, empty the lungs. Yes, empty the heart. So whoosh in, whoosh out. And this should leave you feeling energized and taller, like you can take on more. Remember, whatever's coming towards you and goes into you, you get to filter and make something out of it, and you get to let go of. You can't control what comes to you. That just happens. The wind is the wind. The weather is the weather. 3, whoosh. 2, training your mind to be with the breath. Let's come up to hands and knees. So again, I'm going to give you several versions of sort of the same exercise. One leg extends back, the opposite arm extends forward and then down. And then the other side, one leg extends back and the opposite arm. Now I want you to go slowly, but rhythmically from one to the other. Once you've got that, once you've got the idea, we've been working on this week about loading the muscle and shifting weight distribution, then I want you to blow up. You know that guy at the car dealerships that blows up his air like a windsock? Inhale and extend. So no longer just lifting and lowering the arm and the leg. Lengthen the arm and the leg. So maybe give it another moment to be blown up for air. To go all the way to the fingers and the toes and be squeezed. Remember that toothpaste? Squeeze through the center of the waist to shoot energy. So this is nothing less than like the hatha yoga, where we're using opposing energy to invigorate and balance the bodily systems. Remember, we're also considering abhyasa today. Abhyasa means persistent, consistent practice that you keep coming back again and again. 2 more times. Unclench the neck. All right, leave one arm, one leg. And you know the letter M? It goes up, over, down, and then up, over, down again. It's a letter M. Do that with the arm and the leg together. So up, over, down, up, over, down. And then the other way, up, over, down. You know, letter M. All right, if you can't paint a letter M, that's okay. Do your best. All right, the reason I gave you something sort of thinky, something sort of, creative and artistic is because the nervous systems have to learn to work together. And nothing we do here matters if when you get out in the real world and present it with a real world problem, you lose it. You know, you shut off one nervous system and you can't put it all together. So we have to be able to functionally move everything together. So keep going with your letter M's and think about the core muscles. Oh, my leg is really diving down. I'm really losing it back there. 3 more times. One more time, or one more M, and then come down to the belly. Let's just come down and rest for a moment. Stack the hands, rest the head. Let's practice before going to the other side. Practice breathing the low back. Inhale the low back. Exhale the low back. So you should be able to slow down your breath now. Take a deep diaphragmatic breath. This strengthens the respiratory system, but maybe better, it activates what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, the parasympathetic nervous system can operate at the same time as the sympathetic. Sympathetic is fight, flight, freeze, or I just heard a new one, friend. You can make friends with the monster attacking you. I'd never heard that one. That's a new one I heard. That fight, flight, freeze, or friend. There you go. That's the sympathetic. It's easier to say fight or flight, right? People like that phrase better. So we'll call it the fight or flight. The opposite of the fight or flight is the parasympathetic. That one doesn't have. It's relax, rest, and digest. How's that? Relax, rest, and digest. 3 long breaths to activate the rest and digest. So there we go. 2. Make your way back up to hands and knees. All right, opposite leg. Uh-oh. And the opposite arm. Sometimes like I have to put a little mark on one hand to remember. I've already done that one. And then this is that letter M thing. Remember, make an M and then go trace it back the other way. So like as you're tracing an M forward and back. I'm having a lot more trouble balancing on this one. It's like I'm a leaning tower on this one. So I'm going to re-embrace the core, make a stronger concentration, connection to how those abdominal muscles, remember I said that your hips are the pivot point. Control the hips and control the world, right? Control all movement by controlling the forces moving through the hips. The arms and the legs are secondary. So we're moving the arms and the legs just because that's the challenge. Keep your eyes relaxed, of course, open, and probably stable. Don't make letter M's with your eyes. That'll confuse you. Don't do that. This exercise, whatever you want to call this, the bird dog M exercise, whatever you want to call it, is really good to strengthen your low back. If you are someone who's prone to low back pain, 3 more M's. This is a good one to do when you're not having pain. 1 more. Push back to child's pose. Ooh, we're going to have to stretch that glute. Give me a second so that we can do that. Fill the lungs. Connect the mind to the movement of the ribs, the lungs, and the heart. Remember that 3-part inhale, exhale. 2 more times. Maggie's coming through here. Hold on, I have someone coming through here. There she is. I got to move her over here. So you get to rest a little bit longer. Come up to hands and knees. I know you were wanting another rest. Move to downward dog. Turn the toes, lift the hips, press back. Reach one leg up and back. Raise the roof with it, and then step it forward and through. Plant the foot down, turn the back leg, rise up into warrior one, pause. So I've been talking this week about how the eyes direct the spine. So imagine your eyes are your heart. Your eyes and your heart are looking up sort of at the top of the wall, I guess. Align, though, the top of your head with the base of your tail. So you're not shifting forward, not doing that. The arms and the eyes and the heart are doing that, but your spine is sort of up and down. 2, and then come back down. Step back to downward dog. Lift the other leg up, raise the roof, and then step through with that leg. Plant down, turn the back leg, push up or back into this warrior. So your eyes, if they're looking at that flat wall in front of you, your chest is also in that same position. Sink down. Breathe in, 2, 3. Breathe out, 2, 3. One more time. Then come down. Step back to downward dog. Two. Then walk all the way forward to forward fold. Let's give this another 3 breaths. I think some of our shoulders need to fall off of the body. So wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Shuffle the shoulders around. And then drop the shoulders down. Imagine your shoulder pads. Remember the old days we had shoulder pads. Imagine they're pulling your shoulders to the earth. So we need a little bit more space there. This is very much a yoga thing, to meditate on space. 3. Bend the knees. If you have a band, grab the band. Roll all the way up with that band in your hand. I'm going to take the band behind the back and then stretch it out long, like a long pole. Set the feet shoulder width apart, bend the knees a little, tuck the tailbone down, inhale, draw up tall through the spine, exhale, twist in one direction. Inhale to center, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale. Now, if you're like me, you're pulling on the band, right? That band's not loose back there. So there's just a little bit of tension in the rotator cuffs. Exhale. Exhale. Now, when you inhale, come to center, bend the elbows. When you exhale, straighten the elbows and twist. Inhale, pull in. Exhale, push out. Inhale, pull in. Exhale, push out. Try a few of these. Notice that that band's not giving you a ton of resistance. So you're having to think the resistance. You're having to move slowly and patiently and control the hips. You didn't know I was going to tell you about the hips here. Control the hips. 3. Control the breath and concentrate the mind on the spine. Come back just to center, stretch the arms out. Now let's make circles with the arms. Circles with the arms, circles with the arms. So we're introducing like kind of a new plane of resistance. Usually we do something like this. We're not holding the band. So we're not having to overcome the pull of the band here. So this is a little different. Breathe in, breathe out. Are your shoulders, your arms getting tired? Go the other way. Just because we never, ever, ever do this. And so I wanted to do something to show you that a trained muscle can do almost anything, and an untrained muscle fatigues super quickly. Is it really important to do this exercise? Not really important. However, we are moving the triceps like we just talked about. In fact, let's do that more. Bring the arms forward and then bend the elbows and straighten. Bend the elbows. So I have the arms in front of me. I'm straightening them out. Bend and straighten. And straighten. Okay, you have a band there. I don't know what color your band is, but you can always choke up. That means make the band shorter, so it's harder. Keep the shoulders relaxed. If your shoulders are giving you fits for any reason, probably don't do this one. Just kind of leave it out. Just leave your shoulders down. In fact, after 4, we'll do something to make these shoulders feel better. 2 and 1. Let's put the band down. Yes, yes, you feel that? Step 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. Now this time, do lean forward. The arm that's not that leg, let it hang. Hold the shoulder up towards the ceiling, drop it down towards the floor. So kind of like your shoulder is doing a row. It's going up and down. Flossing. The little nerves, well, they're like little sticky, wet threads that are between muscles and between fascia and through fat and all of those things, going to the skin, etc. So it can really get stuck. It's sticky and it's very thin. So it can get stuck between bones, it can get stuck between muscles, and it often does. So we call this flossing. We're kind of cleaning out so those nerves tell the muscle, bring fresh blood. 2 more times. Come up, interlace the hands behind your back, roll the shoulders onto the back, and then extend the spine. What a great stretch we're getting today. Oh, you're feeling things today, making you wonder, why don't I do this all the time? Doesn't it get better over time? Yes, it does. So abhyasa, practice consistently. Release the arms. Let's step to the other side. So other foot. Step back, lean forward, hold with this hand. Now the other arm hangs. Yes. So now that shoulder goes up towards the ceiling and drops to the floor. Row up and drop. Row up and drop. The more movement we have around the shoulder blade, the better. The more potential for protection. If part of your shoulder is like frozen, if those ligaments or the tendons there are really stiff, tight, and unmoving, then other muscles have to take over and compensate, and now you're setting yourself up for even more injury. So more movement, more better. Feel the shoulder blade. Keep residing in the shoulder blade. So use the imagery of that shoulder blade moving a little bit more with each repetition, and it will. That's the good thing. It will move better. 2 or 3 more. Remember, we're just trying to make that shoulder feel better after all of that shoulder work. Good. From there, come up, interlace the hands, same stretch. Hands glide and slide down the back leg and extend out through the front. 3 diaphragmatic, deep, slow, circulatory breaths, and then release. Let's come to the front of the mat. We're going to flow together here. Circle up, extend back, come up, sit into chair. So push the hips back, bend the knees, hover, hover here. Another breath or 2. Keep bracing the core muscles. Remember that tube of toothpaste. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. So dive over the legs. Step back through plank pose. It's okay, Ivory. And then come down. Okay, if you have the ball, we're gonna lay on our back and then put the ball under the hips, like in a bridge pose. Let me get her settled. If you don't have the ball, just come to bridge pose. If you do have the ball, I want to assure you that the ball is not going to hurt your back, but it's low. It's holding your sacrum. One leg up. Now, if you don't have the ball, this is going to be really hard. So your hips may, decide to go back down. Take the leg that you just stuck up in the air, twist it out, and drop it down at a diagonal away from you, and then back up like a soccer kick, sort of out and down, in and across. Very much like a soccer kick. The ball is over there that you're trying to kick. Now, what I want you to do is speed up, out and up, and out and up, and out and up. Now, I should have warned you before I said that. Only speed up to the speed that you can control these hips. Remember I said the hips are the pivot point, the center of gravity. And if they're in control, the arms and legs are in control. And all forces have to travel through the hips. So choose your speed. Maybe you're like down and up and down and up and down. I don't know. You're soccer kicking across. And the abs are having to work super extra hard. Hey, this is the last exercise, everyone. So if you're a fan of Shavasana, just think, about 20 more breaths here. And one. Let's switch to the other leg. Take your time. One leg up, balance, twist that leg open. I have a dachshund for a head. Take the leg down and out, and up and over and across, like a soccer kick. You're kicking that ball across the field, right? Across from one diagonal of the body to the other diagonal. Same thing, once you have the hips set. Now, if you're on the ball, if you're hovering up off the floor, holy cow, you are like my new idol and guru. But if you're on that ball, you really have to hold the abs in tight because the ball is like messing you up. It's making you roll around. Don't roll around your floor. Your pets don't like it. They don't. So what are you doing? We really do confuse them, don't we? Down and up, faster, faster, faster. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Only as fast as you can without losing it. Don't lose it. 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way down. Let's take the ball out. Cross one ankle over the other knee. Draw both legs in. I'm going to hug this knee kind of straight into my chest, right into my heart bone there. All right, lower your eyelids down and start slowing down the breath. Invite yourself into a space like you're just slowly going through the threshold to a place that's a little bit less stressful. That was stressful. But you're walking into a place that's a little bit more peaceful. One deep breath in. And after you exhale, switch to the other leg. One leg across. I'm going to kind of hug this top knee and drag it right into the center of my heart. So keep the pressure of pulling the leg straight down onto you. Keep that pressure. At the same time, breathe more deeply. Notice the feeling of stillness. So for this 45 minutes, I've been moving you. In fact, I've been moving you very quickly and challenging you to persist, to learn how to endure and to connect with movement so that the body circulates. But now, slow down so you can distribute the good feeling, not just the muscles, not just the ligaments, not just all the connections, but the organs. And it does it through a well-trained nervous system. Take a deep breath in. After you let it go, move your body out into Shavasana. Shava means body. So as you're moving into a really comfortable position, remind yourself that the body can be considered a separate thing than the mind, than the breath or the spirit. Slowly roll onto your side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Open your eyes. Come all the way up. As you're now feeling connected, stack the pelvis, the top of the pelvis, the spine, the center of the heart, the throat, and the crown of the head. Stack all of those things. Bring the hands together. Inhale and circle up, extend back. Remember that extension. Hold that for another breath in and out. Inhale up and exhale down. You did it. Thank you, everyone.